Hello, everybody, and welcome to East Syracuse, New York for this matchup between the Jamesville-DeWitt Red Rams and the East Syracuse-Minoa Spartans in Section 3 Boys Lacrosse. Glad to have all of you along board today. I'm Julian Barron alongside Jacob Kronberg on CMY Stream. This game originally supposed to take place on Monday. Now it's Wednesday, a blustery afternoon here in upstate New York, but nevertheless, we're out here. We're playing lacrosse. It's going to be a fun one. Two very talented teams that have changed quite a bit since last season.
Yeah, both these teams, two of the more high-power offenses in Section 3, and their changes are still kind of similar. Both these teams lost a prolific scorer from a year ago. On the Jamesville-DeWitt side, they lost Griffin Cook. Griffin Cook had 379 points in his high school career. He's now playing attack at Syracuse, a top-ranked team in the country. On the East Syracuse-Minoa side, you lose Derek Madonna, whose little brother is still on the team this year. Madonna had 227 points in high school. So both of these guys are in the record books at their schools. And as they go off to the college level, now it's more of a group effort on the offensive side. For East Syracuse-Minoa, you have guys like Lance Madonna, Gavin Hoteling, Timothy Krause. They have to kind of work together to put up the numbers that Derek Madonna had. On the Jamesville-DeWitt side, you have Pat Murad and Connor Durkin kind of making up for Griffin Cook. So they've had to become better team-oriented teams this year.
Well, one thing's for sure, both of the guys that departed these two teams last year through graduation are doing very well. One of them being Derek Madonna last night playing against SU as a member of the Hobart Statesmen, and he actually scored himself a hat trick last night in Geneva. So he's doing very well, and it wouldn't be surprising to see his brother Lance do as well, maybe even better tonight for the ESM Spartans. We'll find out when we face things off. We have the first face-off coming up in just a little bit, so stay with us right here on CMY Stream, and we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back here to ESM, getting set for the first face-off of the game between ESM and Jamesville-DeWitt in this Section 3 boys lacrosse matchup on CMY Stream. Glad to have you along board. Should be a very exciting game that was originally supposed to take place on Monday, but here we are on Wednesday getting ready for a fresh 12 minutes on the first quarter clock. First face-off underway. Scrum for the ball. It's taken by JD, and they will begin with possession. And a quick chance inside, and they'll sling it towards the goal, but well defended by ESM. It was Logan Lemelbaum in there to make the save. A chance now for ESM to clear and bring it to the JD side of the field as there's some fighting on the near side. Escaping is number 16, Luke Rosacci. Now moving downfield, we get a whistle. It was Lance Madonna who maybe just went a little bit too far. There is a flag. I don't suppose it'll be offsides here, Jacob.
Yeah, the offsides wouldn't be a flag on the field.
Initially, when I heard the whistle, I saw Lance Madonna going down that way, and I thought to myself, well, maybe we've got ourselves an offsides, but with the flag out, it could be slashing. Did you see anything that was suspect on the near side?
Not that was called early on. It seems like it had to be one of the hits that Rosacci took. He's also down on the sideline right now holding his leg, the upper part of his leg. But it looks like we're going to get an ESM man-up opportunity. So you have to assume it was a slash. Looks like it was on William Davis on the attack, so it likely came on that clear on the near sideline.
So ESM will get an early chance here to do some damage. It's Jackson Palem now on the near side working it around. Now Madonna passes back to the top, or rather that is Madonna at the top. Far side shot well over the crossbar. It goes out of bounds towards the corner of the near side, and they'll pick a new ball up from the end line. ESM will try again.
You got to like the urgency out of this man-up unit for ESM, trying to get a goal on the board early, not kill to the end of the clock like you'd see a lot of teams do. Come out firing.
Lance Madonna at the top, passes over to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh back to Madonna. Madonna, pass inside, takes a bounce. JD tries to defend it, and they do. It goes back to X, and JD will have a chance to bring it the other way.
Great job on the man-down unit by JD and Sahil Seth, the first-team All-Star last year, really making every moment count on the defensive side.
That inside pass didn't go for much. It was Connor Durkin who passed right in front of the goal, but his pass was just a little bit too high. So now at the top they work with Johnny Cabe.
Cabe, only a sophomore, has 5 goals already on the season in 2 games. He's played a big role as a midfielder, as a young guy.
ESM defending hands-on. Now Kaib working around and scoring. How about that from Johnny Kaib? Putting a move on his defender, and he's able to run inside and put it right down the middle of the net. 1-0 JD early here, thanks to the sophomore midfielder.
There was nothing Palem could do defensively there. It's a short stick on short stick matchup, and a guy like Kaib, who's oh so talented, a quick swim dodge, able to switch to his left side, and he was wide open for a shot there. That's his 6th of the year. And that's a good matchup that he's going to take advantage of a lot if he's guarded by Jackson Palem, who is a midfielder by title, but plays mainly on the offensive side.
So now we're going to see Eric Callahan, the sophomore, step into the face-off for ESM. 1-0 JD here early, 10:19 to go in the first quarter of play. And Callahan waiting to face off, and he does. He wins the face-off, takes it the way of ESM. They'll have a quick chance here, and the pass is a little bit too far for Timothy Krause, and now we'll have a whole bunch of fighting for the ball on the near side. JD recovers, and it'll be Red Ram ball. They'll have a chance to bring it downfield quickly if they can. Racing down was Pat Murad, and Murad had it knocked out of his stick. ESM quickly responding. Lance Madonna backs up, and they'll set up their offense.
This JD defense, that's the second turnover they caused. Sure, they gave it back on the clear attempt, but this is a defense that had 3 guys who were all-stars in 2018, Sahil Seth and Kenny Hildreth, both first-team all-stars according to Syracuse.com. And then Josh Dubby, also, he was second-team all-star. So these guys really know what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball, and they've stymied their opponents all season thus far.
So the Red Rams with another chance here. They'll work it down the field. And JD will set up its offense. It's Pat Murad. Murad crossing that 25-yard line. Murad coming in hot for the shot, and a nice save made by Lemelbaum.
That quick hesitation move by Murad was just lethal on his defender. had a wide open shot, but didn't hide the head of the stick very well, allowed Lemelbaum to track that shot the entire way in and make a nice save.
Lemelbaum still with the ball here. He'll find somebody to pass to as ESM tries to get on the board here and tie JD. A little bit of an errant pass there. He was looking for a couple of Spartans in the area. Now a whole bunch of fighting for the ball over on that far side. Lance Madonna trying to knock it out, and he does. Chance for ESM to pick it up. It's Gavin Hotailing who comes over to get it. And Hotailing will set up the offense. They work to the side of the net, and the Spartans trying to find the perfect shot. The spin inside, no good for Timothy Kraus. They'll work it back out. Taking their time here. They don't want to take a too quick shot. Let's call it patience, but do patience, no doubt, because ESM wants to find that perfect chance to score.
Yeah, they had a good look on the first possession with Hotailing. Shot was a little wide. You're going to think they're going to try and force the ball a little bit to Hotailing and Madonna, their two most powerful weapons on the offensive attack. Because this is a great JD defense. You're going to need great attackers to score against them.
Now here goes Matthew Kenny. Kenny has the ball for ESM, and once again they're going to try and find the perfect passing lane to set up a shot, but so far this JD defense has not given up an inch. 7:47 to go here in the first quarter of play. Back at X they go, now trying for the wraparound shot. Nothing there. JD with great defense once again. You can see Matthew Bradford doing a great job of preventing a shot, and just as I say that, he takes one. ESM gets it back with Lance Madonna. Madonna works it back out to the top, and that's where they'll set up once more.
Great job there by the JD defense, preventing that question mark dodge attempt by Risacci. Bradford was all over it, read it right out of the eyes.
ESM coming in hot here once again, trying to find that perfect lane to drive on this JD defense. So far, there hasn't been much. 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. Quick shot taken, and it's scooped right past the goalie for JD, and it almost goes in. My goodness, just almost disaster for the Red Rams.
McLaughlin caught a bit of a break there. He made a nice save going down to his knees to stop the ball in the low corner, and then he didn't see where it went. It kind of hopped up over him, and that backspin nearly tailed it in past the goal line. That would have been a nice break to catch for ESM down 1-0 early.
Yeah, you know, Jamison McLaughlin was sweating bullets as that ball came in. He turns around and nearly rolled into the goal, but now the Red Rams will have a chance to do damage of their own, but this shot goes wide of the net for Connor Durkin. Durkin, a first-team All-Star last year in Central New York. Now the Red Rams setting up once again, up 1-0, trying to make it more, falling down on the drive. Here comes a free ball and a ground ball picked up for ESM.
ESM may have gotten away with a little bit of a trip there. Justin Smith, the head of his stick got tangled in the legs of the JD offensive player and just kind of tripped him up. He got away with one. It's a call you see made most times.
6:08 to go first quarter. The ball comes free, and it'll be taken the other way by JD, and the Red Rams will set up their offense if they can bring it across midfield. Up by 1. To the top they go with Johnny Kibe.
The size and physicality of this Jamesville-DeWitt defense has just been too much for the Spartans to handle early on. Every time they try and get near the crease, get some off-ball action cutting through the middle, they've just been delivered blow after blow from these Red Rams.
Will Davis now passes to X. It's Connor Durkin. Durkin getting hacked at, trying to find the wraparound shot. Instead, he passes back out, looking for that ground ball, and they get it into the net. How about that for JD as they come down the middle with Matthew Kemmis?
Matthew Kemmis, the junior, with a great hesitation there, just kind of dipped his shoulder, went under the stick of Michael Cox and able to get pretty much in point-blank range on the doorstep of the crease. He finished that for his 5th goal of the year. The junior off to a great start, now has 5 goals and 3 assists through 3 games, or really 2 and change.
So we'll set up at midfield now, 5:25 to go in this first quarter of play. JD leading by 2. ESM trying to get on the board for the first time today, and it'll start hopefully for them with a face-off win here. And it'll be ESM ball. So right out of the face-off.
Interesting to see that Gavin Hotailing not in on the offensive side for the Spartans. He was out last possession as well. It's just really Madonna in there. And it seems to be the second midfield unit, aside from Versace.
Yeah, Versace again trying to take that drive there, but nothing going. JD once again with the stout defense. A big part of it has been Sahil Seth, who's been seemingly everywhere in the field so far today. Back at X, ESM trying to spin around and find a shot. Coming around is Lance Madonna. He was going for the turnaround shot, but then the ball came free of his stick. Near side, scooped up by JD. A nice job over there to get that ball by JD. His number 32, who happens to not be on our roster.
Yeah, well, he's tall and strong just like the rest of this Red Rams defense, and it gives them the ability to recover, which is huge. You have guys like Madonna and Hoteling who can beat you by a step more times than not, but when you're longer and a little bit quicker, you can recover on that half a step, and it's played dividends early on.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Now 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. JD trying to pad their lead here. They're up 2-0, trying to make it 3-0. Nice spin drive, and he finds the shot, drives it into the ground, and a nice stop by Logan Lemelbaum, the junior, able to get there with his stick to block it, and ESM will take it the other way.
Logan Lemelbaum had a fantastic effort last Friday against CNS. 23 saves to only 9 goals allowed. He was fantastic. And a lot of them were saves like the one we just saw, being able to read the head of the stick very well, even when a guy's wide open in front of the cage. Usually those shots are going to fall, but he's able to drop to his knees and make a fantastic save there for his 33rd of the season. Now
here's Eric Callahan breaking free, and Callahan has a clean lane to bring it up and clear. You can see Eric Callahan just taking his time, spinning his way on a drive, now turning the other direction, perhaps a lane for him to drive inside and take a shot, and he does. Eric Callahan, a pinpoint shot from long distance. He drives it into the net for his first goal of the day, ESM's first goal of the day as well. It's 2-1.
Great shot there by Eric Callahan. Didn't think he was going to have an opportunity to get that off. Barely had maybe half a step, a quarter of a step on his defender. But I guess with how locked down the Red Rams have been, any sliver of light you got to let loose, and a nice bounce shot there past McLaughlin.
So ESM's lead, or rather JD's lead, has been cut to only 1. ESM clawing back here. It's a 2-1 ball game. 3:17 to go in the first quarter. We apologize. We wanted to get that on-screen clock for you today, but sometimes things get extra difficult when it comes to broadcasting, and that seems to be one of the things that has just been our bugaboo, is getting that on-screen clock for you. So we'll see if maybe we can get it for you on Saturday. Fingers crossed, right, Jacob?
Yeah, well, there's 3:17 to go. There's your clock update right there, Julian.
There we go. We'll try and make it as verbal, as audible for you as possible. JD brings it out of the face-off, and they'll try and set up a shot here and pass over to Connor Durkin, and now down the middle they go. It bounces away from the net. It was Johnny Kibe who had the shot. It goes out of bounds past the end line, and JD will have another chance.
Yeah, Johnny Kibe really trying to play the angles on that last shot. I think he got too much on top of it, kind of short-hopped the goal. And this bouncy turf allowed it to fly right over.
Another chance down the middle, but it falls out of the stick of Johnny Kibe, and here come the Spartans.
Great play there by Justin Smith. Saw Kibe had kind of beaten him by about 2 steps there. Took advantage of the length of the long pole and kind of trailed behind to tip that shot out of the back of the stick.
Far side, the Spartans try and get around this stout JD defense. Has really been stellar so far today. Pass inside, taking that low shot, nothing going for Timothy Krause. It looked like it may have been deflected by Jamison McLaughlin. ESM walks away with nothing out of that possession. JD has a chance to pad their lead here. It's Pat Murad bringing it up. Murad also found himself as a first-team All-Star for Syracuse.com last year. Down the middle, JD goes, and who but Pat Murad able to put it into the net, and it's 3-1 Red Rams.
That shot right there, that's why he was a first-team All-Star. Just one quick move, able to beat his defender, and he could finish both sides. We've seen this time a left-handed shot. Had a lot of heat behind that one for Murad. That was his 8th goal of the year. He leads the team.
And in JD's last game against Auburn, Pat Murad had himself 2 goals. He's halfway to that mark today with 1.
He put a 5 spot up in the first game of the season against Oswego in that 19-6 win. And I'm sure we'll be seeing him doing this for years to come. He's committed. He's going to play at Binghamton next year, so staying in central New York. Not quite at Syracuse, but Binghamton, a very notable lacrosse program as well.
Yeah, we saw JD last year. They went 14-4 with a very strong roster overall. So we'll see if they're able to walk away with that kind of prolific record again this year when everything's said and done. Step one will be finding a way to beat ESM here in East Syracuse today. So ESM now down by 2, 1:52 to go in the first quarter. They'll try and find a way to get it into the net on this possession. Timothy Kraus on the near side passes to X, Lance Madonna, and now back to the far side. Half the field here and shaded by the sun, or shaded from the sun rather, and half the field not so lucky. Then again, I think today in such brisky or blustery environment, you probably do want to get as much sun as you can.
Yeah, the wind's been getting us today. Everyone on the field, it's going to affect a little bit for the players out there.
Yeah, straightaway ground ball shot, second chance effort, no good. ESM had 2 shots to go ahead and take there. They took them both, and one of them bounced low, and the other one just fell out of the stick of the attackman.
Great job by Timothy Kraus there to follow up on that first shot attempt. Couldn't quite get complete control of it in his stick. Otherwise, there was no shot he was missing that one.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of back and forth today. One team takes it down, misses, and then the other team takes it down and misses. And how about that? ESM can't clear. Open goal, and he scores. The Red Rams able to capitalize on a miscue by ESM. That was Nick Kemmis again for Jamesville-DeWitt.
Now, the other Kemmis brother, Matthew and Nick, now each have a pair. The twins, actually, both on the board with a pair of goals.
So Nick Kemmis and Matt Kemmis both scoring so far today. You think to yourself, well, that's a unique name. There can't be another Kemmis, but the only way that they're possible to be is if they're related, and it's just my luck that they happen to be. So Matt Kemmis and then Nick Kemmis both scoring today for JD. It is a game of brotherly love so far.
I think there could be 2 Kemmis. They don't have to be related. They just happen to be in this case.
Kemmis? That's pretty unique.
It is pretty unique, but doesn't mean there's not another one somewhere.
Yeah, I guess so. But to go to the same school and not be related, quick shot. Lemelbaum blocks it. Coming in for it was Brendan Coyle, and Coyle had a clean look, but Lemelbaum just able to get his stick onto it.
Yeah, all-star Brendan Coyle coming off the faceoff there, trying to get his 4th goal of the season. Was going straight for the 5-hole, but Lemelbaum was ready for it.
Now the ball comes free, and a ground ball for Will Davis. Davis coming in hot. He's going to go for the shot, and it's deflected somehow. And we're going to get a flag there. It may have been a roughing call. I wouldn't call it a slash, at least not from this vantage point.
No, that was Justin Smith saying you're not getting this shot off. Too wide open. He just kind of took one hand off the stick, and that's going to be an automatic penalty when you go to hit a guy and your hands come separated off the stick. Just kind of clobbered him up near the shoulder area.
Yeah, it was nearly a tackle, almost.
I mean, there are a lot of football players on the field right now.
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? So it's going to be, we got 24 seconds left in the first quarter. And so this penalty will likely be a 30-second, you would think. Or it'll be a 1-minute penalty. We'll get a 1-minute penalty here.
See what this Red Rams man-up unit can do. They've been so good in the 6-on-6. I'm sure they're more than likely to capitalize on the 6-on-5.
So officially a 1-minute penalty here, and Jamesville-DeWitt will go up a man. Johnny Kai with about 8 seconds left in this first quarter. It looks like they're just going to run this out. 5, 4, 3, and yes, JD will take this 4-1 lead into the second quarter. So at the end of one, it's 4-1. Jamesville-DeWitt, and so far, like we talked about a moment ago, it really has been the Kemmis show today.
Yeah, both brothers, 1 goal apiece, and they've been some nice shots. Every goal in this game has been more than impressive. This very talented offensive units, but I like what JD did there and kind of letting the time run out. You avoid having to go for another face-off opportunity there because you're going to start with the ball in the second quarter now on the man up.
Yeah, we did see one face-off where Eric Callahan was fairly successful. Was able to win the face-off, bring the ball the other way, got a quick shot for ESM. And I think JD knows that if ESM finds a way to control the face-off game, that's going to be the Spartans' best plan of victory.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game of possessions, and that's the beauty of lacrosse. You win the face-off, you can keep going. That's how you kill momentum and maybe even swing it to your side. Eric Callahan, you said 1-1 clean really early on. Brendan Coyle's also had an early start on a face-off too. So they've been rather split, but it's the JD defense that has been most impressive so far.
Yeah, Nick Kemmis and Matt Kemmis both being just absolutely stellar so far for Jamesville-DeWitt. They have shown exactly why they are brothers and leaders of this team, and you can see it in the bloodline. The talent is clearly there for both of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're quite a talented bunch. I mean,
they are.
We've seen it early on, and you put that together with guys like Pat Murad, who's just he's an all-star. He's a first-team all-star. There's a reason he's there. He put up the numbers last year, leads the team in goals. He's a 4-year varsity player, and he's playing D1 lacrosse. So when you can counter him with the Chemist brothers, that's a dangerous attack unit.
And another thing just to mention for this Jamesville-DeWitt roster, because we didn't really get a chance to do this before the game, you look at this roster from an objective standpoint, and there's no other way to put it. This team is really stacked when it comes right down to it. You've got a number of second-team All-Stars, but if you look at just the first-team All-Stars from 2018, you've got yourself Sahil Seth, the defenseman, then Connor Durkin, Kenny Hildreth, and you cap things off with Pat Murad, the senior midfielder. I mean, this team is, when you talk about talent, maybe one of the best in Central New York.
Yeah, one of the guys I want to focus on, we haven't given him too much love yet because he's not on the scoreboard, Connor Durkin.
Right.
The Hobart committee's going to play with Lance Madonna's older brother next year, Derek. That's going to be some attack unit over there. But Durkin has 3 goals in the season, so he's averaging 1 a game. But it's the 6 assists that impresses me the most. Leads the team in points. And a guy who's got the talent to go play Division I lacrosse on the attack side in Durkin, who's okay taking a more of a distributor role, that's what's going to make this team great going on and give them a chance at a playoff push. When you have guys who are unselfish and willing to share the ball, and it's not often you get guys that are that talented and are willing to share, and that's why Connor Durkin's a special player.
Yeah, and for JD, coming out of last year, they lost in the Class C tournament to West Hill by only 1 goal. It was a 10-9 game. So you know they've got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder coming into this season. They want to make something happen, and they want to prove everybody that 1-goal loss was just a fluke.
Yeah, they're really going to avenge that this year, and from the looks of it, they're off to a good start. Up 4-1 after 1 quarter of play against a very, very talented East Syracuse-Minoa squad.
So we head into the second quarter. It's 4-1 JD. A fresh clock for the second quarter of play. We go inside and an immediate goal for JD. They're able to drive it home for the score. An excellent shot up into that top right corner for Tanner Burns.
Yeah, great look there. You had the man up starting it. You expected a quick shot considering they killed half of the penalty opportunity, letting the first quarter clock run out. Quick look off the pass there, and that was a pretty easy shot for Burns. You expect him to hit shots like that.
So going to midfield for the face-off, Brendan Coyle for JD, and I believe that's Eric Callahan for ESM. So it'll be Callahan versus Coyle, and it's probably what we're going to see for most of this day.
Yeah, you'd expect that. Callahan, probably the more physical of the face-off group for ESM. Brendan Coyle's more of a true Fogo for this JD squad.
So ESM won the face-off, but they're going to nullify that, and I believe they're going to call it a violation. Or no, they're going to allow ESM to go ahead and clear. Yeah, so ESM's going to go ahead and clear this ball.
It seemed like one of the Red Rams attackmen kind of pushed the ESM defense over the boundary line there.
It did. So ESM's going to go ahead and take this the other way. It's Eric Callahan. Callahan loses the ball, and JD will immediately get it right back. Johnny on the spot was Turner Pomeroy. Now working it between the defensemen and up to the midfielders. Far side, a chance for Johnny Kibe to bring it up.
Not sure if I like that last clear attempt by ESM. Taking Lemelbaum that far out of cage, he crossed midfield. And when you've had trouble clearing the ball and trouble holding on to it with a lot of turnovers early on, I don't know if I want my goalie that far away from cage with this high-powered JD offense.
So here comes Johnny Kibe. Kibe looking for that perfect lane to drive. Instead, he crosses the field to William Davis. Inside they go. Davis, the second attempt, and this one bounces out of his stick and out past the left side end line. So JD will go ahead and start this possession over. 10:40 to go in the second quarter. The Red Rams lead by 4 over ESM here in East Syracuse. A nice crowd on hand for a not-so-pleasant day, but a great game turnaround shot, and it's into the stick of Lemelbaum. A beautiful shot from Johnny Kibe, or Johnny Cabe rather, but a really nice job by Lemelbaum to go ahead and block that shot.
See if ESM can get something going on offense here.
ESM quickly trying to respond. Into the goal they go, and it is good for Owen White, the junior attackman, who's able to put it in for the score, and ever so close to that crease violation. He's able to tiptoe the line and give ESM their second goal of the day.
That's a big momentum swing for ESM, able to get a nice save by Lemelbaum. Quick transition into the offensive side, crisp passing, and Owen White, who seems to have filled in for Gavin Hotailing today, able to convert right outside the crease there.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see a little bit more of Gavin Hotailing as we go on in this game. He really has not made that many appearances so far in this lineup.
he started the game and came out about 2 or 3 possessions in. I can't see him quite on the sideline even right now.
Well, he didn't get injured, at least not visibly, right? So if there is some sort of injury situation, they're probably keeping that under wraps for now. ESM wins the faceoff, but somehow JD able to slash it out of the stick initially. Spartans get it back, working it down the far side. Quick shot opportunity coming in towards the crease, and it goes out of his stick and past the end line out of bounds. I think they're going to call ESM closest to the shot, and they do, or rather just the ball. But we do have a flag out, and they'll go ahead and enforce that now in the stoppage.
Yeah, another man-up opportunity on the way for Syracuse-Minoa. Clobbered there is the only thing I can think of. Justin Smith just clobbered by 2 JD defenders there, and it was the extension of the arms that they're going to get the penalty on. Not sure who they gave it to exactly. I think it was Hildreth.
Yeah, I think so too. That he seemed like the most likely culprit. There were a couple of Red Rams there, but
it seemed like Hildreth and Burns were the 2 surrounding him, and usually that call is going to go against the guy with the long pole.
So ESM setting up their offense, second quarter, 9:49 to go until halftime. ESM trying to take advantage of this man-up chance. The far side of the net they go, and they bulldoze it into Jamison McLaughlin, who's able to make the save.
Nice. I mean, great save there, but it's not the best shot I think ESM could have got. They only worked the ball around once, and you like to see them look for maybe some cutters or a couple guys going near the crease, working inside on the man-up unit, kind of compact that offense. And I think that would have led to a better shot opportunity, but nonetheless a great save by McLaughlin.
The Red Rams now with a chance to go ahead and pad their lead as they set up their offense, keeping it towards midfield now. It's Pat Murad. Murad just playing catch. And this ESM defense is really getting aggressive here, trying to force the ball out. Murad somehow gets away from 2 defenders, and here he goes. Quick break for Murad, and he's just going to slow down and wait for the rest of his attackmen to catch up.
Yeah, even strength now. They were trying to kill the rest of the man down. Not a lot of teams attack man down.
ESM able to intercept that and bring the ball, or at least try to bring the ball up their way. And JD now with a chance again as the ball is knocked out. Flip backwards and trying to get a little bit too fancy there. Will Davis tried to pass it behind his back.
Yeah, I don't think he quite realized how fast Tanner Burns was. Kind of led him a little too far on that. Would have been a really nice play if they converted it, but nonetheless a turnover.
Lemelbaum trying to direct traffic here. Michael Cox bringing it up. Cox to the near side. We have a whistle, and it's going to be JD ball. Are we going to call offsides? Is that what they said? And now we go in for the score, and I think he did indeed score right past Lemelbaum. So quickly after they bring possession up, and I want to say they called offside, Pat Murad goes in and gets the score.
The signal looked like they called a failure to clear. I didn't quite get it across midfield in time, but they didn't have possession that long.
Right, that's why I wouldn't expect that call. They had possession for maybe 10 to 12 seconds. And so the most likely explanation I would think would be setting up an offsides.
It seems like the only reasonable explanation right now.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't have the benefit of hearing what the officials say down on the field here. So it's 6-2 JD after Pat Murad goes ahead and puts his second goal of the day into the net.
Murad just extends his lead as the top scorer for this JD team. That's 9 on the year through 3 games for the Binghamton commit.
So Murad with 2, each Chemist brother with 1, Tanner Burns and also Johnny Kibe. JD able to bring the face-off out. They'll set up shop here quickly. Bounced around and the ball goes errant. Spartans have a chance now and they take it. Bringing it across midfield and down to the 40. To the 30 he goes. And a quick shot chance for Dylan May. Instead they back up and take their time, but here comes another flag.
Try and work around here and get maybe a smart shot on. Let the possession last because you're going to get the slash and a hit to the head there. So your man-up unit's coming. So work it around and try and take your best shot opportunity here.
ESM will go ahead and try and make something happen before the penalty is enforced. Working it back to X. Trying to set up an assist chance here for Michael Cavanaugh. Cavanaugh steps back. And flip it now in front of the net, but instead of bringing it in cleanly, it's a drop for Eric Callahan. Quick chance to recover. Ball comes free, and JD will have a chance to get it. Instead, we get a whistle as the penalty will be enforced.
Yeah, they're going to assess that flag right here. Something I've noticed on this Spartans offense is it looks very stagnant without Hoteling out there.
Yeah, they look like they don't have a clear direction to go in. It sort of looks like the offense doesn't have a key piece of it there, and that makes sense because Hoteling was such a big part of what they accomplished at CNS last week.
Yeah, he's got 7 goals and 6 assists on the year, just 1 point behind Madonna in the team lead. But Hoteling's more than just a scorer. Like I said, he's a distributor, and when he's out there, he really forces everyone else to move around because they know he's going to find them for the open look.
A quick shot chance there, but instead they keep it outside, keep it around that perimeter. They just keep passing to each other here. ESM, once again, not getting any steps on this JD defense, and right as I say that, Michael Cavanaugh able to work in front of the goal, and he lays it into the crease for the score.
That's what happens when you send guys in motion on the man up, compacting your offense, making that defensive man-down zone for JD really guess to where the ball's going to be. A lot of guys moving around, cutting through the crease, and eventually you find Cavanaugh with a skip pass on the doorstep, and a quick bounce shot past McLaughlin cuts the lead to 3.
Yeah, you really can't do it much better than that right there from Michael Cavanaugh. He found his shot. He saw that there was nobody in between him and the net other than the goalie, Jamison McLaughlin. He took his chances with that rolling shot on the ground, and he was able to lay it in for the score. So it's 6-3 JD. ESM wins the faceoff. They'll get it cleanly, and it will indeed be Spartan ball to begin this next possession.
I'm impressed with Callahan at the faceoff X today. He struggled last week against Joel Firth, who's one of the best around.
Coming around for a quick shot, and that is defended well by Jamison McLaughlin, who's able to save it, and he sets up the Red Rams for another opportunity.
Yeah, Firth won like 70% of the faceoffs last week, which was remarkable. But it's good to see Callahan didn't really let his spirits down.
And a straightaway chance for Kenny Hildreth. Hildreth coming inside, loses the ball, and it comes free for Connor Durkin, who was Johnny on the spot to come get it. Now it's Pat Murad. Murad works it to the far side. JD up by 3. They're certainly not feeling any sense of urgency. They'll just go ahead and try and get the best shot they can and do it rather leisurely, and perhaps too leisurely as they lose the ball and the Spartans bring it the other way. Now a whole lot of fighting. Surprised we didn't see a penalty in there. No roughing, no slashing, and now I think we're going to get a timeout.
Yeah, Jonathan McCoy trying to save Callahan there. Every time ESM tries to clear the ball, it's like kill the carrier out there. That's what it reminds me of the childhood game.
Right.
Send everyone after him, send the troops, and you're taking a beating when you try and get into your offensive end if you're ESM here.
Yeah, it really does seem like that. Every single time, like you said, Jacob, when ESM has the ball and they're in their own territory, they bring it up into JD territory, these JD midfielders and defensemen, they're just not giving an inch to anybody on this Spartan squad. And you could say perhaps it is Gavin Hoteling and the absence of him to be able to assist in clearing the ball, but perhaps it's just the strength and the well-coached style of Jamie Archer's Jamesville-DeWitt Red Rams.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, they had 3 guys who were all-stars last year, 2 defenders and their long-stick midfielder. So they're all going to be on the field on the defensive side of the ball. JD opts to go with 1 extra long pole on defense. And it's really showed as a proven strategy here because ESM has turned the ball over numerous times trying to get over midfield. And JD's just kind of capitalized on all their possessions. There's a reason they're leading 6-3. And sure, when you're leading in a game, you think it's the offense. Here, it's the defense.
Yeah, no, it certainly has been the defense so far, especially on Jamesville-DeWitt's side. The JD defense has been very impressive, and we saw some impressive defensive play last week when ESM took on CNS, especially early in that game. But I think this JD defense, so far this year in the 2 games that we've been a part of, and I guess really just 1.5 games, they have been the most impressive.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you have guys like Hildreth, who's been out there, and Sahil Seth, first-team All-Stars. And up here, lacrosse is legit in Section 3, Julian. They don't hand out first-team All-Star awards. Those guys earned it, and they're showing us why today. I can't even count the amount of caused turnovers they have in this one. But they've played a huge role, and it's kind of taken the load off guys on offense like Murad and like Connor Durkin. I'm sure if you told JD coming into this that they were up They're going to be up 6-3 with 5 to go in the first half, and Connor Durkin wouldn't have a goal.
And
they would take that.
We see a quick miscue by ESM trying to shuffle the ball in between players. It goes out of bounds closest to JD, and the Red Rams up by 3. A chance now to pad the lead again. I feel like I've been saying that all day. So we'll find out if the Spartan defense can hold. JD coming in, trying to set up a shot inside. Pass, or rather, it looked like perhaps a shot that he took just a little bit wide of the net there. Scooped up by Logan Lemelbaum, the junior goalie, and JD able to get it back towards midfield. Kaib passes to the far side and over to Pat Murad. Murad tips it up into his own stick. Looked like maybe it was off of his foot.
As good as Lemelbaum is in cage, he really struggles to throw and clear the ball. It's something you're going to have to work on as he grows and becomes a senior next year.
Yeah, it wasn't as much of an issue against CNS as it is here today. Back at X, trying to turn around, looking for the perfect shot. They go down the middle, and he was looking for the assist. It goes back out to Johnny Kaib. Murad passes to the near side. A chance now for Tanner Burns. Burns, pass inside, quick shot and a chance, but nothing going there for JD. The ball was deflected. Everyone's trying to scoop it up now, back towards that 15-yard line. Murad brings it back out for JD. Now Kaib. Back to Murad. Murad. Back to Kaib. Playing catch a little bit here. Down the middle, perhaps, for Johnny Kaib. He does take it. Quick low shot into the stick of Logan Lemelbaum, and ESM will try and respond quickly without going off sides.
Kaib wasn't able to get much heat behind that last shot. Tailed off on the left side there.
3:47 to go in the second quarter. Quick shot and a score. Beautifully done. He drives it into the ground, and for Jackson Palum, I can call that one a quick infield bouncer because that one shot up off of the turf and into the net about as quickly as you could expect.
Bit of a Baltimore chop.
Oh, yeah, you could certainly call it that. I don't think there are any wooden floorboards underneath this turf, but that one certainly bounced like there are.
Yeah, you hear people talk about it on the offensive side a lot. Hiding the ball when you shoot, and Palum did a great job there. He likes to shoot over the top. We've seen that between last game and this game, and he hit the ball behind the back of his head, which made it really tough for McLaughlin to pick up. And when you throw a bouncer in there on this quick turf after that, there's really nothing McLaughlin could do.
It reminds me of playing a baseball game in Toronto or any of those indoor stadiums where you've got that turf. A lot of times the ball will move very quickly. Same case here in lacrosse. You can see that ball took a high bounce. And, of course, with a lacrosse ball, it's naturally going to be a little bit more bouncy. But in that case, Palum able to get some height on his shot after driving it into the turf. And it pays dividends for ESM as they're now down only by 2. JD will go ahead and set up their offense now. Over to the near side, the Red Rams work with Nick Kemmis. Now backing up with Matthew Kemmis, the other Kemmis brother. Back to X for Durkin, and over to the far side. Durkin gets it back towards the end line. 2:49 to go in the second quarter. Durkin turning around, looking for the shot, and he puts a little bit wide of the net. And I think they're going to call a crease violation, and they do.
Yeah, Durkin tried for a little question mark dodge there coming on around the left side of cage. And I don't think he knew how far he was away from the crease because he turned around and stepped right in it with his right foot. And you'll take that stop if you're ESM because there's not a lot of times Durkin's going to miss when he's around crease.
So ESM trying to work it down quickly, but JD able to intercept it with Connor Durkin down the middle with Will Davis. Davis now backing up. Quick shot chance, and that one's deflected off of a Spartan. It was Quinn Walton who was driving the ball towards the net, but instead it deflects off of ESM over to the far side. JD will retain possession with 2:15 until halftime.
Yeah, Callahan's going to feel that one for a while on this cold day. Took an upper 80 shot scoring in the back.
Oh, yeah, that one's going to leave a mark. Now from XJD trying to turn around in a shot, but Lemelbaum says thank you very much. And the Spartans will try to clear the ball as a pass to the near side goes errant for just a moment. Swept away nicely by Nolan Palmer. Now a big scrum for the ball. JD able to back up with it. It's the junior defenseman Kenny Hildreth, first-team All-Star. Hildreth holds on to the ball after getting hacked at. Back towards that ESM logo. Hildreth getting all sorts of trouble, but somehow gets away from all of the Spartans midfielders.
Yeah, I mean, great job there. That play right there reminded me a little bit of Brett Kennedy on the Syracuse lacrosse team. A long stick with great stick skills, the ability to get it over the top and across for an offensive clear. And now JD is going to try and probably settle things. You think maybe one last shot here with just 80 seconds left in the half?
I would say probably, considering how JD has really controlled the ball so far today. Wouldn't be surprised to see them wait it out, but maybe not. Trying to turn around for the perfect shot here. Nothing going. Really good defense from the Spartans. This ball goes high over the head of the intended receiver, you could call him. Goes out of bounds.
Impeccable slide there by Robert Wolf, the fourth. Picked up the guy after a dodge. Picked up Chemist trying to come near crease and then forced the air-mailed pass for a turnover. Now ESM could try and cut it to 1 with a minute to go.
Yeah. Oh, and now we got a little bit of... You would think that'd be a slash, and now we are going to get that slash call. Surprised the flag didn't come out sooner. So ESM now with this pending penalty will not only have a chance to score, but perhaps go a man up. Quick shot taken, and that one's a little bit wide of the goal. Goes out of bounds. We'll see the penalty enforced. 39 seconds until halftime.
I feel like this is going to be one of those man-up possessions where you kind of let the clock wind down, try and get that final shot and one last goal of this half. You want no chance in the world where you can give this ball back to JD. That would be more than just a failed man-up opportunity. That would be a travesty.
Again, I think that's probably what the coaching staff is devising right now, is a way for them to just hold on to the ball as long as they can. Jonathan McCoy probably told his guys or anybody that maybe subbed into the game, just hold on to this one. You know that they've gone over this in practice. Working inside, quick low shot, and that one goes wide back towards the end line. And instead of waiting a little bit, it goes out of bounds. They do hold on to the ball, of course. So 23 seconds left until halftime. For some reason, the clock isn't running. And I think we're still going to wait on that ball to be brought in. And now it's officially brought in. The official gives the signal.
Surprised McCoy hasn't used a timeout to draw something up.
Middle shot and a high one off the crossbar. You can see the deflection there. Second chance, nothing going. Goes past the end line. 11 seconds left in the half. It's 6-4 JD as the Red Ram defense is able to hold. And now I think they're just going to take their time. Keep it in the backfield, or maybe not. He's racing downfield. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, down to 3 seconds. At midfield, it bounces free. Coming over for it was Michael Cavanaugh. We reached triple zeros, and it's a 2-goal game at halftime. The Red Rams lead by 2, and a large part of that is just credited to this JD defense that has been absolutely spectacular so far today. And I think one thing that you certainly can't talk about this game without mentioning so far is the absence of Gavin Hoteling.
Yeah, Gavin Hoteling is one of the most prominent offensive players as only a sophomore, probably in this section. 7 goals and 6 assists in 2 games is nothing to joke about. And it's the composure he has on the field, I think, that you're missing most. Sure, it'd be nice if he had a hat trick in the first half like last week. But I think it's when the ball's in the stick of Gavin Hoteling, he's ready, he's relaxed, and he's just kind of seems like he's a step ahead of everybody else. And you don't quite have that with him not on the field. You have Madonna's more of just a straight scorer, and he's been forced to not play behind at X as much today. And I think that's created some difficulties. It's a reason this high-powered offense only has 4 goals.
Yeah, Hoteling is certainly a very versatile player. We know that he can play attack. He can also play midi. He's a guy that when he's out there for ESM, he'll be all over the place. And when it comes to these ESM Spartans, the name of the game last week was Lance Madonna, Gavin Hoteling, and, of course, Timothy Krause. That was the trifecta for the Spartans, and one piece of that trifecta has been taken away, and I don't think it's going to work as a duo.
Well, the trio has 0 goals in that first half.
Exactly.
So especially when you're missing one of them, it's hard to get that ball movement that you're used to. But you still kind of have to like where you're at. JD came out firing. They were great in the beginning of this first half. But you're still within 2 if you're the Spartans. And like I said, Madonna hasn't scored. Timothy Krause also was scoreless in last week's first half and then had a hat trick in the second half. So maybe he's more of a second half player. We'll see some of that. But you have to think you got to get Madonna some shots one way or another, because he's the best player on the field.
The only explanation for Hoteling not being in the game as much as he was last week, it has to be some sort of injury-related issue, you would think. So we'll try and find out the details of that during halftime. But speaking of halftime, be sure to stick around for the start of the second half. It is 6-4 JD here in East Syracuse between the Spartans and the Red Rams. We'll be back for all the second half action right here on CNY Stream. Welcome back here to CMY Stream. Start of the second half coming up. Really just maybe the shortest halftime we've ever seen in our lives. A 4-minute half. 3-minute half, was it, Jacob?
3-minute halftime. That's because the JV game before ran a little long. Trying to get this game on the road. These guys are young. They're ready.
So face-off, won by ESM, and the Spartans will begin the second half with the ball. Glad to have you alongside Jacob Kronberg. I am Julian Barron, excuse me.
You know your name, right?
I do know my name. Getting my tongue tied a little bit here, quickly coming into the second half. But I like to think I can remember my name, at least on a good day.
I would hope.
Near side, the East Syracuse-Minoa Spartans working with Jackson Palem. Palem taking a jog up here to try and set some room for an incoming drive by Lance Madonna. Shot goes wide and back past the end line. So JD will take over. Red Rams closest to it.
Something to note, Gavin Hoteling still not out on the field. So something must have happened injury-wise that was off ball. We didn't see it. But it must be something legit if he's not on the field because he's one of the most impactful players in the section.
Now across midfield, Johnny Kive. Kive on the far side. Now near side they go. It's Will Davis. Davis back. And Davis gets the ball right back. And JD not being too aggressive here, up by 2. And maybe they're about to change that with Johnny Kive coming in on a drive, and he scores. How about that for Johnny Kive?
Nice little spin move there. Finish right side, a little sidearm shot. He's second of the day, and the sophomore's had himself a great game distributing and scoring the ball. He's found Twine twice, and we just started this second half.
Yeah, Johnny Kive sort of leisurely working his way down the middle there, and he's able to send it almost like a sidearm into the goal. Very nonchalant, didn't really make much of it.
When you have a midfielder who's so skilled offensively like Kibe, if they ever get matched up on a short stick, which is going to happen quite often, they're going to take advantage.
And so a quick shot for Eric Callahan on the face-off win is deflected by Jamison McLaughlin.
Callahan, a little new definition of Fogo there. It's face-off and go. Not face.
Intercepted quickly by Timothy Kraus. Excuse me, Jacob. And Kraus catching everybody off guard. Now it's Lance Madonna. Madonna on the far side. And he'll wait for this ESM offense to set up shop. A blustery evening here in central New York. You can see the wind really picking up down there in the field.
Yeah, blowing everything around. And another unforced turnover there. Just a little trouble passing and catching. Second pass in a row they tried to throw to Timothy Kraus, and he couldn't quite handle it.
Yeah, Kraus was in position to receive that ball. It just whizzed by him, and by the time he noticed that the ball was going past him, it was already past the end line. JD now will go ahead and work the ball downfield. A pass down the middle is broken up, and coming up to get it was Lemelbaum.
Risky, but effective play there by Lemelbaum to leave cage.
Yeah, he came all the way up past midfield, and Lemelbaum setting up ESM with a chance. And we know that if Lemelbaum loses the ball there, it could be disaster for the Spartans. We saw an open net shot taken and scored on by JD in the first half. 9:16 to go here in the third quarter. Timothy Kraus passes over to his right. Now they work it back to the top with Eric Callahan. Callahan coming around the edge, and Callahan passes back to X. Chance for Lance Madonna to turn around, and it's above the crossbar and back past the end line, and ESM will hold on to it.
Madonna doing anything he can to try and put one in the back of the net. Scoreless on the day. Aren't too many games in Lance Madonna's career where he's got a 0 in the goal column.
Another chance to wrap around. This time nothing going for Timothy Kraus as the ball is lost, and the Red Rams able to bring it the other way, but hold on, not so fast. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, so fast as the Rams hold on. Down the middle they go, and it's deflected up into the air. And coming in trying to deflect it was Lemelbaum, at least the other direction, but the Red Rams able to hold on with Durkin, and Durkin now back at X has a chance to pass down the middle, and he does in front of the net, but Durkin gets it right back after there was a whole bunch of commotion in front of the crease.
Durkin, another guy scoreless on the day. He does have a couple assists on the ledger.
Johnny Kibe taking that long shot. It worked out for him the first time, or maybe the second time. That was the second goal of the day that he had just a moment ago when he took that long shot. Second time he takes a long shot in the second half. Doesn't go for him. Goes well past the goal and out of bounds.
Yeah, it's about the third or fourth time today we've seen Kibe rip from 15 yards out. He's just kind of licking his chops every time he gets a sliver of room.
Yeah, now Durkin working on that far right side of the field. Durkin with a step, going to turn around and take the shot high over the crossbar, also a little bit off the mark to the right, and it'll be scooped up, or another ball will be scooped up by the Red Rams on the right side.
Yeah, that shot very similar to the one we just saw Madonna take down at the other end.
And here we go, Deja Vu, once again trying for that wraparound down the middle, forcing his way towards the crease, going for the assist, but Durkin could not field it. Another chance for JD at the top. They work it to Johnny Kibe. Over the near side, Will Davis. Now behind the net towards X, Connor Durkin. Durkin loses the ball. It's poked away. Durkin gets it back, though, and now down the middle, the ball is lost. A ground ball opportunity. JD able to hold on.
This possession definitely tiring out the Spartans' defense. They've had to run all over the place. 3 or 4 shots where the possession was retained by JD is tiring everyone out.
Kai passes to the far side, wind-up chance and a shot. Here it comes, and that one is deflected, and able to recover with the ball was Logan Lemelbaum. So Lemelbaum will get the save there on a low shot. And here come the Spartans down by 3. 6:45 to go in the third quarter, and ESM trying to claw their way back into this game. It's Nolan Palmer, the sophomore midfielder, passes over to the far side.
You'd like to see a little more off-ball movement by ESM. Everything's very stagnant right now. Maybe get Luke Risacci a touch. It's been a while since they've let him dodge from straight away.
That's still at the top of that perimeter. Near side, near that 15-yard line. And now they'll work it back towards midfield. This JD defense once again holding strong as it so often has today. Quick shot, and it goes back into X and nearly recovered by Lance Madonna, but it'll go out of bounds. It'll stay with the Spartans as Madonna was standing right there. Now Lance Madani's got the edge, coming around, looking for that quick shot around the edge, and he cannot get it. It's deflected by JD, goes out of bounds near side, and it'll be Red Ram ball. As closest to the ball going out of bounds was Sahil Seth.
Sahil Seth has been all over the place today defensively, chasing down every ground ball he can find, laying big hits on all the ESM attackmen and midfielders, and he's trying to prove why he deserved to be on that first-team All-Star list, and he's going for a two-timer.
So I believe they changed the call here. They're going to give the ball to ESM. We didn't really get any sort of explanation as to why, but they called some sort of a personal foul on Jamesville-DeWitt. Jamesville-DeWitt would have gotten that ball if it had truly been Sahil Seth closest to it, but they called some sort of penalty.
I want to say it was a push from behind as they were running after that ball. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Oh, kick saving a beauty by Lemelbaum there.
And now it's Will Davis. Davis stepping up towards that 20-yard line. They work it back out. Far side for Johnny Kibe. Kibe back to Tanner Burns. Now it's Kibe. Kibe trying to drive his way down the middle. Quick shot taken, and that's deflected by Lemelbaum. A whole bunch of people fighting for the ball now in front of the crease. And escaping with the balls, JD down the middle they go, and they score. It's Connor Durkin. His first goal of the day finally comes here with under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. 8-4, Jamesville-DeWitt.
Yeah, the Hobart-bound junior with his first goal of the day, and it was just great off-ball movement there, cut right down the seam, and they found him on the doorstep. He was able to finish. That's his first, and there's nothing Lemelbaum could really do there. If you're just a casual fan and you check the scorebook right now, you see 8 goals. And you think, oh, goalie's having a so-so day. What you haven't seen is all the saves that Lemelbaum has. He's still been fantastic in cage. He's received shot after shot after shot, sometimes 4 or 5 in a possession. He's done a great job down there, and eventually they're going to fall. Eventually JD is going to find Twine. They're just too good.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt that this ESM defense has not done any favors for their goalie, Logan Lemelbaum, who has been pretty good. It's just a matter of keeping those shots away from the net. JD able to bring the face-off their way, and up by 4, they will control the ball. 4:30 to go in the third quarter. Over to the far side they go, and the Red Rams continuing to try and find some way to get this offense rolling here. Able to get the score just a moment ago, and a quick response would be nice for the Red Rams. Immediately coming out of that score, the ball's lost. Now the Rams, again, another opportunity to fight this ESM defense. The Jamesville-DeWitt today has just had so many chances against this Spartan defense, and you can tell that ESM's looking a little bit tired here. And almost a turnaround shot opportunity, pretty much a tackle as a flag comes out. 2 flags now.
Yeah, that was a massive hit laid down there. I believe it was against Matthew Chemis. Received the blow, but that's an obvious flag. You know that's coming if you're ESM. You can't lay down hits like that. That was frustration penalty, if I had to think so.
Yeah, it's something like that, right? You can tell that that was certainly not strategic in any way. It's either frustration or just a matter of accidentally falling over somebody, but that looked like there was a fair amount of brute force laid into that hit.
That was a football hit.
Yeah, it really was, for lack of a better term.
So we'll see if the JD man-up unit can capitalize again. Already 2 goals in this third quarter for JD. They've looked really good offensively, but just like the first half, they've been stellar defensively.
Yeah, JD now up by 4, a real chance to pull away here with a long shot by Johnny Kibe. That goes a little bit far and out past the end line. JD will retain possession. 3:42 to go in this chilly evening in East Syracuse, New York. Like to remind everybody, you can follow us on Twitter at CNY Stream. Once again, that's at CNY Stream. It's Will Davis now to the top. They go Kibe, and long chance down the middle. This one goes out of bounds. I think that was a pass, Jacob.
It was. He was looking right over crease there, had a cutting attackman. Couldn't quite find him. Airmailed pass. But you really like the effort. You like the fact that they're looking at the entire field there. Nobody's thinking score for themselves. You had Kibe looking for Brang there coming across the crease. He just couldn't quite find him.
ESM clears the ball rather quickly, considering how slow it has been for them today, at least moving the ball down the field, but it goes ahead and gets turned over to JD as the ball goes out of bounds. So just like that, ESM had a moment of promise, and it gets scorned by another turnover. Far side, Durkin, down the middle they go, and a quick shot taken, and they score again. So JD laying it on. This time it's Matthew Chemis, his second of the day, and JD just putting their foot on the gas pedal with 2:42 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, it looks like they're the only team that made any second half adjustments. ESM, it's just a repeat of the first half. They're struggling offensively. They're getting beat on the clear game. And this high-powered JD offense and the collective unit that they are, it's not just one guy. Sure, you have Durkin and Murad who are going to play at the Division I level, but they're not the only ones with goals. They only have 3 of the 9. The Chemis brothers have been huge. Johnny Kibe been great as well. And as a collective unit, there's nothing you can do if you're a defense and when you really have to pay full-fledged attention to all 6 guys.
And the question remains, where is Gavin Hoteling? We still do not know what exactly the situation is with him, as ESM will get the ball. They're going to call that face-off violation.
Hoteling would help on the offensive end, but defensively, it's just been too much for the ESM defense to handle.
Lance Madonna trying to jumpstart this Spartan offensive attack with 2:23 to go in the third quarter. Spartans trailing by 5. They've got a hefty deficit to overcome. Taking a far side jog, spinning around, looking for that perfect shot, and instead they go for the assist. Low shot, scooped up, and Jamison McLaughlin again locking down the crease. Under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. JD again on the offensive attack, clearing the ball. And you got to really give credit to these JD midfielders. The passing has been so pristine today.
Yeah, crisp pass after crisp pass, always finding the open man on the clear.
Near side they go, Will Davis. Now at the top, taking their time. They're in no hurry, up by 5, approaching the start of the fourth quarter. Looking for that shot. Taken and a little bit wide of the net to the left. It goes past the end line. It will stay with the Red Rams.
It was one of the tougher shots we've seen JD take today. That was Nick Kemmis there. I think that was maybe a little low. My brother just scored. I got to get my second one too.
It may be that, as it's getting real cold here in East Syracuse. The ball comes out of the stick of, it looks like Durkin over there in that corner. The ball goes past the end line. ESM closest to it. So Lemmelbaum will lead his defenseman up to clear this ball. They leave the cage wide open again. So the strategy here for Jonathan McCoy's squad is to just get another body upfield. Instead, the ball goes out of bounds, and it just feels like deja vu, Jacob. Another turnover with a minute to go.
Yeah, Connor Durkin rode Lemmelbaum very, very hard and pretty far out from cage, more than you see against most goalies. Able to force that turnover. And I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe reward him and let him rip one on cage next.
Quick shot taken, but well defended by Logan Lemmelbaum. And another chance for ESM to clear the ball again to the far side. They nearly lose it, and they do. JD fighting for it as equally as the Spartans are, and all of a sudden the Red Rams on attack again. Here they come. A chance down the middle for a score. It's bobbled and goes loose. A ground ball opportunity for all of these Spartans and Red Rams involved. The ball goes flying out of the pile and past the end line. And it'll be ESM ball, and naturally so. There were a couple of Spartans who, I think, unintentionally chased the shot. If you can even call that a shot, that ball just came flying.
Yeah, it was more of like a scoop shot for William Davis. He just kind of, I don't think he ever had full possession, just kind of hit it like a golf club a little bit there.
It almost worked. So now the ball goes loose down to the left side of the field. About 15 seconds left in the third quarter. ESM, a quick strike opportunity to close out the third. 5 seconds left, down to 4, and nobody can get possession. And this quarter will end with a lot of loose ball play as Lemmelbaum makes a quick save to end the quarter, but I think time actually expired before that.
I don't know if that save's going to count on the record.
That's going to be a good question to ask after the game, because the ball went flying towards the crease right as the clock hit 000. So whether or not they score that a save, I think that's just going to be pretty subjective.
Yeah, I think the officials waved it off. The official behind cage, goal line extended, had that one as a no shot.
And I think rightfully so. We saw that the clock had been winding down, and it hit 000 sort of right as that ball came into the crease. And so naturally that's before it goes into Lemmelbaum's stick. And that makes sense in the end of the day, I would say. So speaking of the end of the day, we are at the end of the day here in East Syracuse, and that's why it is getting so cold right now. I'd say we're plummeting towards that freezing point, and today it was about 52, 53 degrees in central New York, and we were all feeling the springtime glee, and all of a sudden we're being plunged back into January as the lights come on here in the booth.
Yeah, Mother Nature tricked me a little bit there. I didn't think I was going to need a jacket. And
yeah.
It's got a little cold up here today.
We're going to see if we can get you something, maybe like a hot towel or something to keep you warm up here.
Yeah.
Because it is blustery here, and it has been all day. The wind has been a problem throughout this game. You can see on the jerseys of both the Spartans and the Red Rams, you can see it's just blowing all over the place. And when you're fighting the wind and you're fighting another team, it can certainly put a little bit more pressure onto you.
Yeah, I'm sure it's played a little bit of a factor down there. Some of those longer passes maybe getting caught up in the wind, leading to some of those turnovers that Lemmelbaum has had out of cage. But that's not stopped JD from capitalizing on everything. It's really affected. If you're going to use that as an excuse, I don't think you can, because ESM's really the only team struggling right now. That quarter was all JD, 3 goals to none, and they've just been solid offensively. It's not the best offensive game they've had. This is a team that scored 19 goals in their first game against Oswego and 20 against Auburn.
Yeah.
So they're used to double figures. The fact that you've held them to 9, there's some sort of kudos to this ESM team. But JD defensively has stymied ESM, and this is a very powerful ESM attack with guys like Madonna, Kraus, even without Hoteling. They're a very good offense, and the JD defense has just been impressive as all can be.
So we go to the fourth quarter here in East Syracuse. I am Julian Barron alongside Jacob Kronberg on this beautiful but very chilly Wednesday evening in central New York. It's 9-4 is your score, JD leading. And the first face-off of the fourth quarter, a whole bunch of fight for it, and ESM for a moment had it. The ball still falling away, and ESM does pick up the ground ball. All of a sudden it comes loose now. It was Luke Versace that had it, and JD will bring it the other way momentarily. Ball comes loose again on that right side of the field, inside that 20-yard line on the far side. ESM eventually does walk away with possession. The top for Dylan May. May, we haven't seen much of him today, is falling down here on the drive. No slash, surprised.
Seems like Hill just got away with a hit to the head there.
Now the ball goes a little bit backwards for JD. They're able to recover. Flag does come out.
That's going to be a retaliation flag there. Versace, I think it was Versace who delivered one right back at Sahil Seth when he was on the ground there on that loose ball.
Yeah, so ESM will face a penalty here soon as the shot taken will deflect off of Lemmelbaum. 11:01 to go in the fourth quarter. And we'll see this penalty enforced. It'll probably be a man-up opportunity. And it is indeed going to be a man-up opportunity for Jamesville-DeWitt.
Looks like the penalty's against Palum.
Yeah, I didn't see Jackson Palum, the freshman, involved in anything in particular. I thought that the referees missed perhaps a high stick call on the near side. They let that one slide. Apparently something else happened that we didn't see. Did you see something, Jacob?
Yeah, so I agree. I think they may have missed that first call, but it was a bit of a retaliation there. I think Palum trying to have the back of one of his teammates there hit Sahil Seth when he was on the ground following the loose ball. And any hit to the head is going to be a penalty if the ref sees it.
So JD could up their lead to 6 if they get the right drive and chance here. It's Johnny Cabe. Now down the middle they go with a shot, and Lemmelbaum blocks it with his body, falls in front of the crease, whole bunch of fight for the ball again. And eventually out of the scrum comes Lemmelbaum with the ball and that big stick, and now on the near side they work it back and a chance to clear.
Fantastic job by Lemmelbaum. Reading the head of the stick that entire way, going high to low, was Durkin, and he was able to drop down to his knees and prevent that from going through the 5-hole.
Now the ball goes errant to the far side, out of bounds, and ESM again just shooting themselves in the foot with these turnovers.
You've seen ESM rely a lot on their defenders to try and clear the ball. Maybe try and get it in the hands of a short stick and let them run with it.
Quick shot taken down the middle, and this one bobbles away from the crease. Back towards the end line. ESM trying to put some pressure on to get it. Under 10 to go here in the fourth quarter, but JD able to retain possession. Durkin working inside, and Durkin takes the shot, and he scores. So Connor Durkin is committed to head over to Hobart in Geneva, New York, just about an hour away from Syracuse. Gets into the net. And all of a sudden, Jamesville-DeWitt up by 6 with 9:51 to go.
Yeah, Lemmelbaum seems a little frustrated after that last one, or a little banged up. Because that wasn't one of the better shots he's faced today, but he's got to be so tired and just worn down from the amount of shot attempts he's faced. That one, a little soft, short bouncer that Durkin got to scrape over his leg.
So Durkin picks up that unassisted goal. JD and ESM will once again fight at midfield. And here goes the face-off. 9:51 to go. And it's won by ESM. They needed that badly. Here comes a shot attempt, or maybe not. They'll back up and take their time. And Jacob, I don't know if they have time to take.
Yeah, I kind of would like to see Callahan just rip that one. He had a step on his guy originally. Try and see if you can get something going in transition. That's where 3 of their 4 goals have come from. They've really struggled in the offensive set today. The speed, strength, and length of this JD defense has been too much for the Spartans to handle.
So the Spartans bring it back to X, and that's where they'll try and arrange their offensive attack. Now at about 9 minutes to go. Keeping it on that far side. Around the corner. And again, just nothing going here. Jackson Palem trying to find someone to pass to, and he finally gives it off to Lance Madonna, but Madonna is well short of the goal right now. Madonna down the middle, no room for him to drive. Changes direction, now Madonna with a chance. His best look of the day turns into a goal. Lance Madonna laying down the hammer on Jamison McLaughlin and getting ESM their first goal of the second half.
Yeah, Madonna able to draw the switch there and pick up Matthew Bradford on defense, who is also a long pole, but not quite the caliber player that you have guys like Sahil Seth and Kenny Hildreth, who have pretty much drawn the Madonna assignment all day. It's good to see a guy like Lance get in the score column, all the hard work he puts out there today, and just kind of add to that historic career he's had for ESM as only a junior.
Well, ESM really needs him now. They're down by 5, 8:44 to go in the fourth quarter in this game. And you know that if ESM's going to come back, it's going to have to involve Lance Madonna in a big way.
It's also going to involve Eric Callahan, who's done a fairly good job in this fourth quarter at Faceoff X.
Yeah, another victory right there. So now we get a whistle, and it's going to be a timeout called, I believe, by ESM.
I like that call by Jonathan McCoy. You just scored on the last possession. Callahan wins you another faceoff and save that possession before he can turn the ball over. JD's been so good at riding on clears all day, and even just off the faceoff. So if you can kind of get some composure back, you just scored a goal. You've got pretty much as much momentum as you could say you've had all day. Madonna scores. You got to think you try and draw up another look for him. Maybe get him cutting across crease a little bit, playing off ball, because he's had too much of the game to play straight away today. Usually he's back behind X, able to facilitate and then find his looks when he pleases. A couple dodges from behind cage. But straight away, it's hard for him, who at only a 5'6" frame, to try and beat guys like Sahil Seth and Kenny Hildreth, who are both over 6 feet tall.
Yeah, and again, the absence of Gavin Hotailing has just been so difficult for ESM to try and overcome. There's nobody that can adequately fill his shoes.
Yeah, I mean, there's the skill aspect of it, but there's also the size. There's the unteachable things. Hotailing, 6'3", one of the bigger. He's a physical guy on offense if he needs to be. And he's just got stick skills that you could never imagine a 15-year-old would have. This sophomore is going to have a great career at ESM and maybe even beyond. So without him out there, it takes a lot away on your offensive strength, and it's just one less guy that the JD defense has to have to focus on. We said earlier in ESM, it's pretty much a trio. It's Kraus, it's Madonna, and it's Hotailing. For JD, it's a collective, and I think that's the reason they're up 10-5 in this one.
Now, if you're Jonathan McCoy, what are you telling your team right now? You're trailing by 5. The time is of the essence, really.
You just kind of have to tell them you need a little urgency, but there is still a chance. You win the faceoff battle, which Callahan has done the last couple times. You can make a comeback. It's possible. You've got a little momentum with Madonna. Take smart shots, but you also may have to take quicker shots than you're used to. So make sure your guys are there at X to back up and keep possession with your team on a missed shot. You expect guys like Rasachi to maybe fire one on the run here. Looks like they're going to give it to Madonna straight away to start. And you think the ball's going to be in his stick as much as you can.
So let's see what the ESM Spartans can pull off here. They're going to need a big offensive effort. They work it back to X, trying to set up that screen and backed away at first. A turnaround shot or turnaround chance almost for Michael Cavanaugh. Instead, he keeps it outside. Now down the middle they go. Once again, trying to find that turnaround shot. Nothing going. Double team by Jamesville-DeWitt. And JD able to scoop the ball away from ESM. They'll try and bring it the other direction and clear. But you know ESM's coming with this full field pressure. It's Pat Murad on the near side trying to race downfield, and he does.
Not the best effort there on the ride by Owen White. You would have liked to see him try and be a little more physical against Murad. It's ride or die here. There's less than 8 minutes to play. You trail by 5. You have to give it all you have on trying to prevent a clear. And an easy one at that.
Yeah, JD, they would really be smart to take their time here, but instead we're going to get a straightaway shot and a chance for Lemelbaum. You see, Jacob, that I don't understand.
Yeah, it's a questionable decision on the offensive side. You got time to kill. There's no shot clock in high school. So you really could pass the ball around for about 90 seconds, 2 minutes if you wanted to.
Right, it's sort of like that Dean Smith four corners basketball for North Carolina. It's that same sort of strategy. Just hold on to it.
Yeah, just move the ball around. But this JD team, what we've seen today, they're not the type of guys to do that. These guys want to go out there. They play lacrosse. They're going to take their shots, and that's the activity level that you like to see throughout most of a game. But then it becomes the point of you got to play smart instead of just playing better.
Well, now ESM is going to have to find a way to get this one in goal. 6:45 to go in the fourth quarter, and it will be very difficult to claw back without some sort of offensive production here on this possession. Chance for Kraus to drive. Kraus looking to spin around. He takes that low shot, and a nice block and save by Jamison McLaughlin.
Yeah, McLaughlin read that the entire way. Kraus left the stick head exposed throughout the entirety of that shot, read the low-to-low angle. Kraus tried a little bit of a carpet burner there, but that was a rather easy save for McLaughlin.
And it gets colder and colder as the night goes on. I think our producer over to my left, Michael Haggerty, may start to try and get a fire going with a couple of twigs he finds outside, because you can see he is freezing. I don't know why, though, because he's lived in the Northeast his entire life. I guess this is just advanced coldness for him. He can't handle it, and somebody else couldn't handle it for ESM as JD comes flying the other way. The Red Rams with an opportunity to just hold on to the ball. Can they do it? Can they take some time off the clock?
Yeah, maybe this possession, give it a little more time. They almost reared up for a shot there. Was Tanner Burns, opted out of it. Try and settle yourself.
Again, taking that shot, the edge of the crease, it falls flat. Lemelbaum falls on it for ESM, and he will try to clear. And oh my goodness, he passes to the near side and just airmails it over the head of Justin Smith. And so instead of clearing the ball, Lemelbaum sends it out of bounds, and JD will hold on.
So it's pretty frequent you see an airmailed throw when guys cutting across the middle, you go into midfield. But not often do you see an airmailed laser beam on goal line extended.
JD taking a shot, and they score on a bounce. Beautiful job on that far side to put it into the net. And it was Will Davis coming in for the shot, and he knocks it through. It's 11-5.
Yeah, the junior attackman, great job there getting his feet set on the doorstep of the goal. Off-ball movement's been the key to a lot of goals on both sides today. Davis did a great job there, creeping up from behind the crease. Sits right there and makes Lemelbaum pay for that last turnover.
Oh, he did. Lemelbaum was caught completely off guard. And in large part, that shot was aided by the Lemelbaum mistake to throw to the near side a little bit too high for his defenseman, Justin Smith. So now, JD really in control, and perhaps this game all but lost for ESM as JD wins this faceoff. It's going to take maximum effort from ESM to work back, and I think we're going to get a penalty on JD as a Spartan goes to the ground.
Yeah, Luke Risacci was just hammered from behind on that face-off attempt from the JD wing. He was also hit kind of high, and that's a trigger for these officials. Anytime you see someone lead with their arms extended, going shoulders up, that's a dangerous hit. We've seen that. Rules have been enforced way more in all sports to prevent those injuries, because that could have been very bad for Luke Risacci. He went down pretty hard. So we'll see if ESM can capitalize on a man-up, something they've yet to do today.
Yeah, it should be a man-up opportunity for ESM. And I think that is officially going to be the call here. You can see JD sending 5 guys out here. 5:10 to go in the fourth quarter, and it's an 11-5 game. JD firmly in control. The Spartans could claw back here and take advantage of this man-up opportunity. Lance Madonna passes near side. Risacci. Now down the middle they go. Almost a great assist chance, but Timothy Kraus can't hold on to it. Goes loose, and JD able to get all over this one.
ESM has had 3 or 4 man-up opportunities today, and every time it seems to have been stopped by Sahil Seth, who just camps in the middle of that 5-man zone in the man-down unit for the Red Rams and gets his stick on every pass that goes near the interior.
So a JD turnover as they passed a little bit too far to the far side of the field results in another ESM possession. Under 5 minutes to go, down to 4:30 in the fourth quarter in this game. At the top, they work it, keeping it outside the perimeter. Timothy Kraus. Now to the near side they go, spin it around, looking for that low shot, and he scores. Lance Madonna with the thunderous strike into the back of the net, and it's 11-6.
Lance Madonna seems to be getting things going a little bit in this fourth quarter. Cuts the lead back to 5. That was a nice look there, spinning around, kind of creating some diversion, a lot of activity right in front of goalkeeper Jameson McLaughlin there. Made it very hard for him to pick up that ball, and Madonna gets his second of the day, second of this quarter.
So the name of the game at this point has to be Feed Lance Madonna, because he seems to be the only ESM Spartan that's been able to actually get going offensively in the second half. And I mean that quite literally. Both of their goals this half have come from Lance Madonna.
This is a team where 3 guys scored all 11 of their goals on Friday night. So it's used to being a couple guys, high volume shooting, high volume scoring. Lance Madonna's the only guy with 2 goals on the ESM side today.
So I believe we're going to get a timeout here, called by Jamesville-DeWitt. Or by ESM? Was it by ESM? Yes, it was by ESM, confirmed by our producer, Ryan Clark. Thank you very much to him and Michael Hegarty, both producing this game for CMY Stream. I want to remind you our next Lacrosse Showcase broadcast will be on Saturday. It'll be JD going up against West Genesee, another big CNY lacrosse game, so be sure to tune into that. 2 of the best in the area going at it at Jamesville-DeWitt. That'll be an early game, too. Early riser here on CMY Stream, 10 a.m. for the first face-off. It's about as early as it gets.
Yeah, you're not going to see much before that, and you're only going to see that on a Saturday matinee, I think we're going to call it. But if you're JD here and head coach Jamie Archer, you got to be pleased with your boys' effort on the field. But I think with only 4 minutes to go, you lead by 5. This is when you maybe tell your Red Rams, all right, let's slow it up. Minute possessions, work the ball around 1 or 2 times before you let a shot rip. Because at this point, you don't want to even give ESM a chance to come back. The opportunities are slim, and it'd be unlikely to do so. But there is a chance when you have a guy like Lance Madonna on offense. Lance Madonna scored 70 goals last year.
Yeah, and today he's got 2, his 10th and 11th goals of the season, and we're only through Game 3, so you know that he's on pace to do really well this season. It's just a matter of whether or not JD can hold on here against ESM, if they can contain the Lance Madonna attack that has been firing on all cylinders for the past 2 minutes.
Yeah, Lance Madonna's the entirety of the Spartan offense in the second half.
Yeah, which is shocking to think about. But then you see that ESM only has 2 goals since halftime.
I won't be surprised if that's the only time this happens this year, but it'd be a game where Lance Madonna has, 6, 7 goals, not only 2.
It's getting colder and colder by the minute here in East Syracuse. JD holding on to the ball, under 4 to go now. 3:45 on the clock in the fourth quarter.
See the Red Rams really trying to stretch the defense here and then dodge from far away.
Back to X, and just trying to keep it in their possession. The Red Rams not taking any chances yet. 3:24 to go. Far side, a little bit of pressure coming on from Jamesville-DeWitt, trying to come in for the score, but instead they keep it outside. Smartly, Durkin putting a move on, and he just says, I'm going to hold on to it.
This is a possession you like to see from a team that's leading late in the game. You've killed almost a minute off the clock, and now you can rip and fire if your heart desires.
Again, oh, wow, you're a poet and you didn't even mean to be, as that one goes out past the end line, and it goes out of bounds. You see, I wanted to say you're a poet and you don't even know it.
That's what I was setting you up for.
But I didn't want to take that. I did not want to say that because it's just too easy, right? Yeah, you are the only one that's going to be rhyming today, not me. 2:50 to go. Jamesville-DeWitt, again, just holding on. Oh, here comes a quick shot and a score. So just as I say, they're continuing to kill the clock. They go ahead and they fire one into the net. It's Will Davis again. It's his second of the day.
Will Davis really likes the far side of the field here, ripping with his left hand, his second goal this quarter as well. And he's had a good game offensively. He's had a good season. He's up to 6 goals. Distributes the ball a little bit too as well. And the thing I like most about him is that he's willing to move without the ball. You don't see him very often having to straight dodge from X or straight on cage. He gets his shots from finding the open space, and there's so many guys who are crisp, clean passers on this Jamesville-DeWitt offense, starting with Connor Durkin, who found him there. gets Will Davis's opportunities, and he capitalizes.
Face-off won by ESM. Quick shot opportunity if they can work it down the field. Lance Madonna getting fought at, and they headed into the corner. Or rather, that wasn't Lance Madonna. That was Dylan May. Now it's Lance Madonna. Madonna at X, trying to turn around. Doesn't have room to do it. Has to back up and work it back to the top of the perimeter. The ball goes loose, back towards midfield. Durkin watches it go out. He'll scoop it up.
That last play right there where Madonna comes around Cage from X and then kind of tries to retreat, he's looking for a cutter, and that's been the difference between ESM and Jamesville-DeWitt today. When Connor Durkin does it for the Red Rams, there's always 2 or 3 guys cutting down the middle, cutting through the crease, looking for that shot. When Lance Madonna does it, there's nobody moving. It's just stagnant offense, and that's another time where Gavin Hoteling is missed on this field.
Kaib for JD passes to the far side. The Red Rams can really take their time now, up by 6, and you know that this game pretty much a lost cause for ESM. If we would have been talking just a little bit ago and before these 2 games that we've covered so far, if you would have asked me which game's going to be closer, CNS versus ESM or ESM versus JD, I would have told you this one.
I agree. These teams were much better last year than CNS was record-wise, but that's the thing about high school and even college sports. The rosters change on an annual basis.
Yeah, and we saw last Friday CNS falling to ESM by a 2-goal margin. Today, ESM getting really decimated by JD. And so we see another JD goal, 13-6 now. It's Connor Durkin. Durkin with his 3rd of the day, and Durkin committed to Hobart, and we just know how talented he is. That's his 6th goal on the season that he just scored.
Yeah, hat trick for the soon-to-be Statesman. Having himself a great day, both scoring the ball and distributing. He was the player to watch coming in on this JD offense. Not the flashiest of shots, but he takes them when he has them. More than willing to get the rest of his team involved, and we've seen that today. And he now has the most points on the team this year for the Red Rams.
ESM wins the face-off. Oh, here comes the flag, just delaying the inevitable here. As I think what we're going to get is some sort of slashing penalty. Lance Madonna passes inside, quick shot, but a dominant stop by Jamison McLaughlin. What a save.
He's amped up there, and freshman on sophomore there, a couple of the young guys going at it. Palem wide open, nobody really in front of him. They were going to let him rip, and he shot it right into the chest of McLaughlin, who has been nothing short of stellar in Cage this afternoon.
Oh, no, he has been great. As we're coming up on 1:08 left in this ball game, I want to remind you, CNYStream.com, the only place to find the matchup on Saturday between Jamesville-DeWitt and West Genesee. Can the Red Rams keep the momentum going after this victory here today at ESM?
You got to think they'll be riding high. I mean, you don't want to take anything away from the Red Rams because they outplayed ESM in all facets of the game. But it'll be interesting to see what this game looks like if they do meet again with Gavin Hoteling on the field, and he's playing all 48 minutes.
So JD will go to 3-0 on the young season. ESM will fall to 2-1. Not every day that you see a Class C team beat a Class B team, but that's exactly what we've got today. JD will walk out of here with a victory, taking that one back down to DeWitt. Down the middle, Pat Murad trying to take a shot, and he does. Down the middle and through the lane for the score, and Pat Murad just laying it on. A beautiful shot from Murad, and once again, the first team all-star. You're seeing right now why that guy was on the premier list of lacrosse players last year for Syracuse.com.
Yeah, Murad, I guess, wanted to join Durkin with a hat trick of his own. He's now the first guy in this Red Rams team to reach double digits in goals. But that's a goal there that might upset some of the ESM players, coaches, and fans. He could have just ran around for a little bit there, killed those last 30 seconds. So I wouldn't be surprised if this game gets a little physical for these next 26 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to see what you can get. There's some guys who take offense to those last-second goals.
Oh, we're about to find out if there's anybody that's offended enough to cause a ruckus here in the final 26 seconds, but I have a feeling, considering it's 38 degrees outside and about as windy as it's been in maybe 3 weeks, that everybody's going to be eager to get off the field.
And
that's my best guess.
No more extracurricular activities. Let's go home, warm up.
I would think, but then again, I've been wrong before. To the near side, ESM goes after winning the face-off. A chance perhaps to get one last goal for pride. 11 seconds down to 10. ESM just absolutely shut down by the JD Force today. The Red Rams walk away with a 14-6 victory over ESM. They storm into East Syracuse and dominate the Spartans in a fashion that we have not seen in quite some time, Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, nobody could have expected this going in. We expected a tight-knit game coming down to the wire, a thriller, and the only thing thrilling was Jamesville-DeWitt tonight. ESM, kind of a disappointing effort, and coming off 2 strong first games to start the year. This was a 2-0 team versus another 2-0 team, and Jamesville-DeWitt just came out firing. Gavin Hoteling, we're going to have to figure out what happened there because he is such a prominent player, and to not have him on the field, it had to be something serious that happened because you'd think even through a little bit of pain, he'd play.
Yeah, you would think so. You would at least expect him to play. But unfortunately for ESM tonight, they are without, or rather were without, Gavin Hoteling, who had been so prolific last week against CNS. And we saw last year, JD and ESM, they split their series, right? They won one game. JD, that is, won one game, and they lost one game against ESM. One of those games was a 21-12 blowout in favor of the Red Rams. The other one was a 10-9 victory for ESM, just barely skirting through. So that's how it is between these two teams, it seems to be. You know, when JD wins, they win in big fashion. When ESM wins, they just barely get by. So who knows, later this season when these two teams meet again, perhaps it will be a nail-biting victory for ESM. We've seen it happen before.
Yeah, you're right, and that was the way the Red Rams were last year, and I guess maybe this year even as a collective group. They blew out a lot of teams with Griffin Cook on the offensive end last year. I mean, 379 points in high school means he was getting his money's worth every game.
That he was. And so, here on CNY Stream, we'd like to thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Julian Barron alongside Jacob Kronberg to my right. Our wonderful producers, Ryan Clark and Michael Haggerty. We want to thank you again for tuning in on what is a very blustery night here in East Syracuse, but we have been very glad to bring you this game live from ESM. We'll be back on Saturday. The next edition of our CNY Stream Lacrosse Showcase Series will be at JD when West Genesee comes to town for a battle in the early morning hours at 10 a.m. But until then, thank you again for tuning in and have a great rest of your evening.